What's up guys, today we're going to take a look at some UX tools. What's the best on the market? Is it Adobe XD? Is it Figma? Is it Sketch? All the stuff that you need to know coming up right next. Let's go. Guys, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Antony Conboy and it's my mission to make you a better designer. Over the last 10 years, I've worked for some of the world's biggest companies, gaining some inside experience, and my mission now is to bring that to you. If you haven't already, check out school.antonyconboy.com. I've got a free hours course. It teaches you all the fundamentals about UX UI design, everything you need to know to get started. With all that out the way, let's get going. Guys, we're going to jump straight in with the hottest design tool at the moment, the hottest UX tool, which is Figma. So for the last couple of years, people have been using Sketch in the industry, Adobe XD. We'll talk about those both in a second. They both still have a valid place in the industry, but the hottest one at the moment by far is Figma. One of the reasons it's so hot is that it's free. So people always ask me, what's the best design tool I can start with? I don't want to invest a lot of money into a design tool. What's the best free one? It's been really hard to answer, to be honest, in the last couple of years. Sketch was cheap at $99, but Figma's free, and Figma's got so many advantages on Sketch. Also, one of the best things about Figma is a tool that works, it's browser based, so it doesn't work, so you can download an app, you can download a Mac or a PC version, but all that does is that launches the browser version of Figma in there. Everything is saved to the cloud and you can go anywhere you want, launch your free Figma account, have access to all your files on the go, make changes, and then it updates it on the fly. I mean, what more could you ask for? I'm a professional user and I don't even have a free account, so I think it's an unbelievable design tool that's going to change the industry. It was really hot in 2019 and I think in 2020 it's going to be the hottest design tool. So head on over to figma.com. I've just launched this page. I'm just going to talk quickly about what Figma is and show you a design in it and show you how to get started, but definitely check this out before you check anything else out. So one of the things that Figma is based around, it's all based around vectors. So years ago we used to make websites in Photoshop, but as you know, Photoshop is basically for editing photos. Photos are all pixel based, so when you'd zoom in on your design you'd see jagged edges, pixels, things wouldn't be very smooth. But modern design tools are all based around vectors. You can draw things with a pen, you can put shapes in there. It looks great on screen and it's really good for handing over to developers. So that's one of the things that Figma is based around. As we scroll down, Figma keeps on adding new features all the time. Just recently they added auto layout. So look at this on the left hand side. Say you're designing a chat app and you wanted to rearrange some elements on the page. Before you'd have to move it out the way, move the other one up, move it back in. It was a bit of a pain, but now things are getting more like code actually, but a lot easier for designers to use. So you can move things around the page, things auto layout, and it's such a cool thing. It saves you so much time going forward. I've got a video on auto layout, check it out. I'll leave it in the YouTube card if you haven't seen it already. Just going further down, and one of the things that really great design softwares has, they leave it open for plugins, for developers to write plugins. It helps the program grow a lot faster, and that's something that Figma's got built from the ground up in. So quickly, I'm just going to launch my own Figma account. I'm just going to show you a design I put together. This is just a really quick app for the moon, but let me just show you a couple of things that Figma's got built in. So I'll do a future video on how to design this, but this is our design here. We've got 3 iPhone screens. Now in the top right hand corner you can see design, prototype and code. So I'll show you the code thing first. So if I click on a button and I click on code, you can see it actually spits out the CSS. So working in design teams, this is what developers want. Back in the day we used to have to go in Photoshop, draw red lines on everything, say how much spacing was involved, say the actual hex code, the colors, but now everything is built in there. You can see it's got the hex code for the button, it'll have the font details if I go on it. You can share your Figma file with other people. There's a share button up here. If you click share, you can then drop people the link, you can drop developers the link. They can go in, they won't have access to write over your files, but they'll have access to check out all the code and everything you need, and especially sharing it with other people in your team. 2 designers can work on the same file, which is an unbelievable advantage when you work in a big team. and then prototyping is so simple. So if I click on prototype, you can see here, I'll delete what I've done so far. So you can click on a button, then all you do is click and drag, and you say on tap, navigate to this page, and we'll click on this button and we'll say navigate. We'll go back to that page, and then what you do is you select your page, you hit play in the top right hand corner, and what you'll see is this will actually spit out a working prototype. So it takes a few seconds to load. So there's my app within a phone. I click login. There you go, it launches the page, and I click the button back and it goes back to the other page. So there's so much more detail that's going to go into Figma. I'm going to do a full course about it. So check out school.antonyconboy.com. I'll put the card up there. It's going to have lots of free tutorials. You'll be able to go on there, check it out, check out Figma. I'm going to talk about the other design tools next, but there's some cool things that you'll learn in there. So let's see what else is on the market. Guys, the next platform I'm going to talk about is Adobe XD. So this you'll probably see on YouTube as the hottest design tool. It's probably the most popular at the moment. I know I said Figma is gaining in popularity, so Figma's probably the best for individuals looking to get into UX and UI. Adobe XD seems to be what more professional teams are using. I've recently checked out Adobe XD. I think it's very on par with Figma, to be honest, but Adobe XD obviously has the money of Adobe behind it. They keep on adding new things, and I'm going to show you a couple of features in Adobe XD which probably stand it out from Figma at the moment in terms of a few key features, especially plugins and UI kits. So I'll just quickly show you the homepage. So head on over to adobe.com, check out Adobe XD. At the time of publishing this is free. You might need a CC license in the future. Adobe keep changing on the pricing platform, but I envision in the future to compete with Figma, it's going to have to be really cheap or free. But Adobe XD, again, what it's got code built into it. It's got co-editing, so other people on your design team within the building can log in, they can leave comments. It seems to be really built for design teams, not so much individuals at home, but more for like professional industry teams. It's got auto animate, which is a really unique feature within Adobe XD. So before, when we were moving from one page to another, what it will do is if it recognizes an element with the same name on each screen, it will then rearrange that element, which is really, really cool. And it seems to be built for, it said it's built by designers, so they have by far the biggest budget. They'll go into some of the world's biggest companies and work with the designers and help improve the product. So I see Figma being a really big competitor for this, but you know, Adobe's been around the longest. Adobe will put the most resources into it, and Adobe will probably have the better program at the end of it. But again, probably more for professional use at the moment. So let me show you one of the really cool features about Adobe XD. So Adobe XD has something called UI kits. So this is within the resources section of the Adobe XD website. So if you go up, you can see there's plugins, again what we spoke about before with Figma, where you can get things built into the platform to make it better, but UI kits is really cool. So every large company at the moment has a design language for their company. It helps people save time when developing and designing things. I've built a couple. I built one for Barclays. But what comes free with Adobe XD is there are free design languages, one for each one of the big boys. So you've got the Apple design language, the Google Material design language, and the Microsoft UWP design language. So I've just downloaded the Material design language just to show you what type of file you get. So again, it's a very, very simple layout of a program. All the things you can do are on the left hand side. It looks very simple, but it's actually quite complex. A few of the things you can get into when you get into Adobe XD. So if I zoom in, again, these are artboards, but you can see this is a free file I've downloaded, and all the elements that you need to design a website are in here. So I've seen people send me some designs for review of apps, and they might design an Android app, but a lot of the time, guys, you don't need to spend or waste a lot of time designing stuff that's native within the program. So things like these chips, these are cards, you've got your top bar, your bottom bar with your slide out menus. This is all built in to this UI kit. You might be able to find one for Figma if you dig around on the internet, but this is one that comes with Adobe XD to to design an app, all you'd need to do is make a new artboard, drag and drop the elements that you want, and spend your time really thinking and crafting about the experience. It's got prototyping and sharing built into it again, which is simple, but maybe draw the design out first, then find the elements which are native on the platform, drag them in. Don't spend too much time creating unique components, but think more about the experience and the flow of the actual app or website that you're doing. Things like UI kits and integrations will really help speed this along. I hope you enjoyed Adobe XD. I'm going to be doing more things on Adobe XD. So let's take a look at the next design competitor, which is Sketch. This has been the big boy in the industry. You don't want to miss out on it. You want to know how to use it, and you want to know why these two are taken over. So the last design tool I want to show you guys is Sketch. Head on over to sketch.com, take a look. So Sketch has been something that I've been using for at least 5 years. I used it to build the whole of the award-winning Barclays website. I built the whole design language in Sketch, and I've been using it in some Cisco work that I've been putting together. But I have changed, I'm going to be honest. I've moved over to Figma and Adobe XD in the last couple of months. I'm going to show you the Sketch website. I think it's good for you to, you can go on Sketch, you can try for free. I think the pricing is still $99 on Sketch. It's really cheap compared to some of the old design software that we used to get. But I think Sketch has probably got a lot of catching up to do for some of the things that have been released recently. So Sketch, very similar to the other programs, it's all vector based. You can see that Sketch has got lots of cool things. So the buttons resize, you can drag and drop things, move about. These have all been new features which have been pushed by Figma and some of the stuff Adobe XD has been doing. Sketch has got components built into it. So if you're designing a website, like I showed you with UI kits before, you might design your own UI kit for a website. So you'll have your own headers and buttons. This can all be done in Sketch. Sketch is completely, they've been the big boys, so they've been investing a lot in the platform. Again, it's built by designers. It's got very similar things to the other two programs. You can view it on your phone. You can view other things. One of the big things that Sketch doesn't have built into it, like the other two, is prototyping. So I'm going to show you a website which I use in conjunction with Sketch, which is envisionapp.com. Again, this is a free website, and you'll be able to get a plugin for Sketch. But what you'll need to do is whenever you make a page or design a page in Sketch, you'll click on it, you'll upload it to your InVision profile. You'll then go on InVision to then do all your your links to your buttons and stuff. And InVision's a great program. I've used it for some of the world's biggest companies. You can see here, Airbnb, Amazon, HBO, they all use InVision. But this is probably a little negative towards Sketch. So the other two have prototyping built into the platform. It's not built into Sketch, and it does slow down your work. So it takes a few more minutes to do different things that you'll be able to do in seconds in the other programs. And over time, it doesn't sound like much, but it does add up on your program. Again, one of the hot things in the industry is adding code. So there's a plugin called Zeppelin, which is free. You add that into Sketch. So you can make Sketch robust, but you've got to add all these different programs in. You've got to stay in touch, keep them all up to date. There's probably more plugins for Sketch than there is for other programs, just because it's been around for so long. So you can make Sketch robust. But again, there's that barrier to entry, which is the $99 fee. And just the fact that the industry seems to be moving away from it. But don't let me hold you back. Go and take a look. Check it. Zeppelin is a plugin which exports the code to developers. Again, like I said before, developers don't want a PNG or a JPEG. They do kind of want an interactive prototype, but what they want is the code, because that's what they're going to have to go in. They're going to have to put the buttons in. They're going to have to put the colors in. They don't want to keep coming back to asking you what the hex code of that color is. All of that stuff. So if you want to check out Sketch, get the free trial. Get Zeppelin. Get InVision, and check it out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that lesson today. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. What's your favourite design tool? If you haven't already, check out school.antonyconboy.com. I've got a 3 hours course, and there's lots more tutorials coming on.